Hey Washington Eagles, Miss Sayla here. I am here with book 4 of our Sweet Pea and Friends series, Alpaca Lunch. Aw, look at this cute kid living at the Moonrise Farms. John and Jennifer Churchman are the authors and illustrators. Young Poppy the alpaca stood outside the barn with her mother, admiring the beautiful spring flowers. "What would you like to do today?" her mother asked. "I want to go exploring," replied Poppy. "I thought you might," said her mother. "Perhaps you'll find some new foods for your lunch. All the spring fruits and vegetables are ready for you to try." There was nothing Poppy liked more than discovering new things around the farm. "Okay, I'll try," she said. Poppy walked through the meadow where she saw Macy the sheepdog watching one of her puppies taste a flower. "I'm finding new foods to try," Poppy said proudly. So you remember the story of Macy? Well, in this story, she's got puppies. How cool is that? Okay. "There are plenty of spring dandelions," said Macy with a smile. "Dandelions? For lunch?" Poppy hesitated, then took a nibble. They tasted so fresh and spicy. The next day, Poppy brought her friends Lindsay and Brooks to the maple forest to see what foods they could find. They saw the lambs, Lily and Petal, in the shade under the trees. "What are you eating?" asked Poppy. "Fiddlehead ferns," said Lily. "They're my favorite spring treat." "Mine too," said Petal. So Poppy and her friends foraged for ferns, ramps, trout lilies, and trillium flowers. They had a forest feast for lunch. As spring turned to summer, Poppy explored the farm with her friends, finding more and more new foods for lunch. One day she brought her big sister Rhea to the pond, where they found Keeper the goose with her baby goslings. "What are you eating?" asked Poppy. "Bugs," peeped the littlest gosling. "And yellow marsh marigold flowers, purple violets, red clover, and fresh mint," added Keeper. Rhea looked at Poppy. "Do we have to try everything?" she whispered. Maybe just the flowers and mint," Poppy said with a laugh, and they left the bugs alone. Early one summer morning, Poppy watched Farmer Jennifer and her daughter, Gabby, weeding and watering the kitchen garden. After they left, Poppy walked among the plants and saw Bella the cat hiding in the catnip. "I'm finding things for my lunch," Poppy said politely. "I can share my catnip," said Bella, her bright green eyes shining. "Thank you," said Poppy. "Would you try some new things with me too?" Bella nodded, and together they tasted green snow peas, garlicky scapes, chives, basil, parsley, and dill, and nibbled on fresh red strawberries for dessert. Poppy was getting so good at finding new foods that she and her best friend Lindsay decided to explore the greenhouse. Together they peered in and saw the sheepdog puppies trying to nap. They also saw tomatoes of every color and cucumbers hanging on prickly vines. It looked like Farmer John had just finished picking some colorful peppers. I think we've found our lunch, Lindsay said with a giggle, accidentally waking up the puppies, who scampered outside. Okay, cute. Following the puppies, the friends nudged open the garden gate. They saw Laddie the sheepdog playing with the puppies as they tumbled from Farmer John's garden cart and climbed back up again. Laddie suggested that Poppy and Lindsay try one of each of the colorful summer vegetables: lettuces and chard, spinach and broccoli, kale, carrots, red striped beets, and summer squash. So they did. Look at all those vegetables coming from that garden. On a late summer day, Poppy called her alpaca friends together for lunch. "Let's go to the berry patch and see if they're finally ripe," she told them excitedly. Following Poppy, the friends peeked through thorny brambles where blackberries, raspberries, and elderberries hung heavy on the branches. They played in the sun and ate juicy berries all afternoon. Summer was now turning into autumn, and a sweet smell was in the air. Poppy followed her nose all the way to the fruit orchard. "Hello, Poppy, what brings you here?" asked Sadie the pony. "I smelled something wonderful," said Poppy. "It's the fruit trees, and grapes, and honey from the beehives," Sadie said, showing Poppy rosy red apples, golden yellow pears, sweet cherries, and dark purple plums hanging on the orchard trees. As Poppy and Sadie ate, they watched butterflies and listened as the sound of buzzing honeybees filled the air. "I think autumn might be my favorite time of year," said Poppy. But a few weeks later, as Poppy walked to Farmer John's garden with her friends, she noticed frost on the flowers and grass. "That's never been here before," she thought. Then she saw that the corn stalks had been cut and gathered into a shock, and the pumpkins and squash were in piles around the garden. "This doesn't look right," Poppy thought. She was worried. That night, Poppy stood outside the barn in the chilly evening air with her mother and other alpacas. A yellow moon was rising. "This is the harvest moon," said her mother. "See the Canada geese flying south? They know winter's coming. Soon everything on the farm will rest until spring." Everything? Poppy wondered about her favorite gardens, the pond, and the forest. Would they rest too? When Poppy woke up the next morning, she looked out the frosty barn window and saw a blanket of snow covering the gardens. The pond was frozen and the forest trees were losing their leaves. "What will we eat now?" she asked her mother. "I'm very proud of you for trying so many foods this year, Poppy," said her mother. "What were some of your favorite things to eat around the farm?" Poppy thought about the spring, summer, and autumn. Everything that she had tried was so good. The lilacs in the spring, the kale in the summer, and the apples in the autumn, she decided. "Come with me," her mother said, beckoning to Poppy and her friends. Poppy's mother pushed open the door at the far end of the barn. Poppy couldn't believe her eyes. There were pumpkins and apples, corn, squash, and hay. There were sweet red beets, cabbages, and kale, her favorite. Every color of the garden was heaped into big piles and baskets. "Farmer John and Farmer Jennifer have stored food from the gardens for us," said her mother. You'll have plenty to eat all winter." "Hooray!" said Poppy. "Hooray!" cheered her friends. That evening, as her mother kissed her goodnight, Poppy dreamed about what she would eat for lunch tomorrow and what new things she would find next year. The end. There's Farmer John with all his harvest, putting it away for the winter, for the animals, and for he and Jennifer to have as food. I so love these stories in this series. Remember, you can go to sweetpeafriends.com and check out all of the books they write and their farm. Thanks for letting me share this with you. We have one more book in this series, and I will read that tomorrow night. Okay, good night, Eagles. Love you guys. Bye.